fallacies of faith.
Hello and welcome to another episode of my Theistic Pearls of Wisdom series, where I choose posts and comments made by believers in Facebook discussion groups and comment on them from an atheistic, naturalistic, and obviously my own personal perspective. The Pearl of Wisdom from today is a longer one, so please bear with me while this believer explains to us why a single finite life would be unfair, and because of that unfairness, they argue that karma and reincarnation are more logical and reasonable, to them at least. Why are some people born rich, handsome and strong, while others are born poor, ugly, disabled and weak? Why do some individuals need to try so hard throughout their entire lives to attain what others effortlessly receive? Doesn't God give us an equal chance or task in life? If that's the case, the concepts of karma and reincarnation seem more logical and reasonable, to me at least. If you committed misdeeds in your past life and missed the chance to rectify those mistakes, that karma might transfer to your current life, necessitating you to face its consequences. This concept elucidates why, for instance, someone might be born into a broken family, without limbs, a weak body and with abusive parents. If you only have one life to live for, and that life brings nothing but unfairness and suffering, do you not think that your respective God is punishing or torturing you unjustly? Because you only have one life, and there's no past life to justify any impurity or guilt at the time of your birth. I kind of feel that I have to take a shower after reading this immoral and despicable claptrap. But let us look at what the poster is actually saying and promoting here. There are first the why questions that the poster presents to set up their argument, which under a naturalistic perspective make no sense in the first place. The universe is as it is, and nobody has promised any of us that life would be fair and that everyone will in the end get justice or equal treatment. The poster says, doesn't God give us an equal chance or task in life? The simple answer is no. The longer one, why on earth would we assume that? And what is the evidence that there is a God in the first place? So, from this completely misguided idea of fairness and equal treatment for everybody, this poster gets logically and reasonably to the idea of karma and reincarnation. They believe that it makes sense that even though we do not know anything about these previous lives, we will be punished or rewarded according to what we supposedly have done in these lives. There is nothing logical or reasonable about this. And can anything be more immoral than such an idea? I am held responsible for something I have never been involved in, that I could not have changed and that I could not have prevented. Something that I do not even remember or have a chance to know about. The poster continues. If you committed misdeeds in your past life and missed the chance to rectify those mistakes, that karma might transfer to your current life, necessitating you to face its consequences. This concept elucidates why, for instance, someone might be born into a broken family, without limbs, a weak body, and with abusive parents. Isn't this the ultimate form of victim blaming? You are born into a body that is disabled in this life, so you must have done something horrible in some previous life and hence you deserve what you get. Or you are born into a poor family as the result of something you have done in a previous life, so your chances of advancement in this life are 0. Accept it as the punishment that it is, and do not fight to get ahead. Under the concept of karma, nobody should feel any empathy with anyone in such a situation at all. They simply deserve their fate because of karma. The poster's response to that might be that if you help someone, if they now deserve to be in the situation because of something they have done in a previous life or not, you will gather the reward in the next life. But that in itself makes any form of charity and altruism into a transaction and selfish to the core. Yes, I am aware that it stands to argue that any form of altruism is in the end selfish anyway, because not only are we gaining positive feelings from such an act, but it lifts up the society we live in, and that in the end makes our life better. But that is this life, the one life we actually know about and that we are living at this very moment. But because it is karma and the just punishment for transgressions in earlier life, it is much easier to ignore the suffering of others. If you only have one life to live for, the poster continues, and that life brings nothing but unfairness and suffering, do you not think that your respective God is punishing or torturing you unjustly? Because you only have one life, and there is no past life to justify any impurity or guilt at the time of your birth. Since it makes no sense that a God is punishing anyone, the much simpler explanation is that there is no God and that positive or negative things simply happen. And seriously, doubling down on the victim-blaming idea that makes this whole karma and reincarnation crap so despicable? Guilty at the time of your birth. What a fucking ugly idea. Christianity is not beyond that either, we know, but that's another topic. Why would it surprise anyone that this crap brought about the caste system that is fully alive and well in certain parts of the world where the idea of reincarnation and karma is prevalent? If you are born into a lower class, you deserve it. So be okay with being treated like shit and do absolutely not try to get out of this crap in this life. The better you take it in this life, the more you will have moved up in the next. I know, in the groups I have taken these comments from, we are mainly discussing the Abrahamic religions, their despicable ideas and rules, mostly because there are very few Hindus who are actively participating. But maybe, just maybe, when we see posts like these, we should come down on this crap as harsh or even harsher than we do on Bible thumpers and Quran reciters. I always feel sick when I see posts like these. But to bring the video to an end, let us take a look at reincarnation as a more general idea and not from a moral perspective. The poster here assumes a God, so we could assume that this God has created the souls. That addresses at least some problems that I normally point to refute claims of reincarnation. When all souls are housed in bodies already and a new baby is born, God can just create a new one and put that one on its road through several lives, can it not? But does that make sense? And how is the karma of this new baby determined? With how much good or bad karma does this new soul begin its journey? That somehow is never answered. Purely from a numbers standpoint, reincarnation makes no sense at all. And it makes even less sense seen in light of evolution, which I hope we all accept as the fact that it is. At what point in the evolutionary development of humans were humans endowed with souls that can reincarnate? What we know is that there were many bottlenecks in the development of the human race, where the number of individuals alive at the same time on this planet was reduced to under 10,000. In one case, it is even assumed that the number was closer to 2,000. So, where did all the souls go that existed before this point? Were they parked in some holding pattern? And no, the math does not get any better when we include animals in all of this. In respect of karma, it makes no sense at all, because animals are amoral beings. If a lion kills its prey, that is not an immoral act. Not even if the new leader of the pride kills all the cubs sired by its predecessor can we call that immoral. How would what a soul does while trapped in an animal body, which in itself is seen as a punishment as far as I understand it, affect what life and what body they are given next, if there is no moral or immoral act to be judged upon? It makes no sense. Another problem is this planet and this whole universe was at some point without biological life. So were the first souls created with the first cells? In any case, a working definition of what a soul is completely lacking, and there is not even a suggestion of a mechanism that explains how these souls would be transferred from one life to the next. Yes, I'm aware of books like the Book of the Dead that describe what happens to a soul after death, and that it is, after a waiting period, transferred into a new body. But fantasizing and making up stuff about what happens to the soul in a step-by-step manner is not the same as explaining the mechanism, something that is very often not understood by believers in other contexts as well. Let me just finish here, because I surely will not get any reasonable answer to all the questions that the proposal of karma and reincarnation are raising. I hope you enjoyed this episode of the Theistic Pearls of Wisdom and will join me again the next time on this channel. Enjoy this life. It's the only chance we get as far as we can tell. See you soon and goodbye.
I heard it all before. Is that all you have in store? Is there really nothing more than just fallacies and faith?